What led to the 8 threes for them in the first quarter?
There was some coverage confusion. Some of it was transition, the offensive rebounds. There were quite a few reasons.
And Miles Turner didn't play in the first matchup. What type of difference did he make tonight?
Big difference, honestly. But I thought the way they guarded us at times, cross-matching and gave us some issues. We got a little stagnant. When we did move the ball, I thought we generated good looks.
Wes, to what degree did your team miss 𝗙𝗏𝗏 tonight?
You're going to miss, your backup point guard every night. And, it wasn't our best defensive effort. I don't put all that on 𝗙𝗏𝗏. I just didn't think we had the right mindset from the start. And like I said, when, a team gets a rhythm of that magnitude, it's not one person's, responsibility. That's everybody.
To what degree is the defensive rebounding a concern? In league-wide, you entered tonight somewhere in the middle.
Right.
But other teams had exploited you with second-chance points.
Well, it's a concern. I mean, it's part of the game every night. So it's not something that you're not going to, be up against. It's a mindset and just something that we've got to make a habit. Practice, walk-through, shoot-arounds. Everything's got to finish with you got to turn and touch somebody. We ball watch too often, and that leads to some of what we saw tonight.
Wes, kind of to Josh's point about 𝗙𝗏𝗏, did his absence create any of that confusion just because the rotations were a little off, or that's not what you're talking about?
Offensively, I think that it led to a little bit with guys, kind of offset positions, but defensively, he would have had an impact, but I don't know if he would be able to stem the tide, that we saw in that first half.
And you went to Johnny, obviously, a lot earlier than last game. What were you hoping to get out of him, or what were you hoping he could bring?
Well, I just wanted to see what he could do. Great opportunity. We've seen it in practice at times. You see it late in the game, when we're up or you're down. Wanted to see how he, would fit in the meat of a quarter. Decent stretch, and I just think he's just got to get his feet wet and get more of a rhythm.
They were 15 of 28 from three. Do you look at that as them being hot, or do you see it more from your defensive perspective?
Well, they got hot because of the lack of our defense. They had 10 in the first half. So, once again, you allow a team to get a rhythm. It's really tough to put that fire out.
I asked you about this pretty much every game. The 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗪 lineup got even more run today.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of them? What did they do well?
I thought overall it was decent. We had opportunities to cut into it. Missed some layups, missed some opportunities at the rim. Those happen. So I think it's just we're going to see more of it just because of the way we're constructed, and I think there'll be a little bit more comfort level offensively. It's going to take some time.
KP, they scored 75 points in the first half. What do you think was the biggest problem defensively for you guys tonight?
I think they were hot. They got hot. And they have some great shooters from outside. From top to bottom. They just got going early from three. And yeah, it's hard to stop a team like that once they get going like that, that first half. So for sure there's things that we could have been more aggressive and up into them more and force them to make the next play, which we did in the second half. But yeah, that first half definitely hurt us in the long game.
For the adjustments that were made at halftime, was it mostly a mentality switch, or were there scheming changes?
Yeah, a bit of both. But we knew that we had to pick up our energy, and I felt like we came out a bit. We underestimated them, a bit. Came out a bit overconfident, maybe, that we're gonna get it done. And yeah, against a team like that, once they start shooting, it's tough. And then of course second half we gave what we had, and that was better. But still, it's hard to play uphill like that, So learn from this one and on to the next one.
KP, early on you had some chances to post up some guards and it seemed like the defense rotated really well to you. What made it, what they do to kind of crowd your space in those situations?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of like us not spacing well. There was a situation Then he tried to drive, and there was really no space. You know, I would rather, you know, open up that paint for him if he wants to drive. And yeah, a little bit of spacing, maybe problems, me posting up. So I try not to post up in that free throw area as much, maybe more down lower post, and then just get an advantage or be there for the rebound if somebody else shoots, and be able to, you know, but just sometimes the game just it wasn't like perfect rhythm and everything's happening the way it's supposed to, you know. And that's the first time we've seen them putting a guard on me, and now us having to take advantage of that. And so we're going to get better from this. I'm going to, you know, be better in those situations right away. But overall, I think we were putting the guy whoever Brad was going to go at into the pick and roll. They switch, and then Brad can go to work. So yeah, I think good game for us, good lesson for us. You know, we always learn more when you lose. So definitely going to look at the film and see what we could have done much better.
Is that spacing and timing just coming from playing together more, or are you guys actively working on, like, hey, when I'm here, you're there? We need playing more, and I think we need to recognize and read the game quicker. Sometimes we rush when we should slow down, and sometimes we need to go quicker when we kind of, you know, when we're going slow. So yeah, I think it's a bit of experience playing together, and then making those reads quicker and having that experience, and just sooner or later we'll figure it out.
Brad, what did you like about the defensive effort in the second half in particular to get back into the game and have it be at 2 possessions with 5 minutes to go?
Well, first praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It was good. I mean, how we played in the second half is how we should have played. You know, in the first half we ended up playing catch up, and you know, we allowed the team to shoot 57% from 3 in the first half, and just had, you know, the hope looked like an ocean to them. So it's tough to be able to come back from that when the team has the momentum and they're locked in. And, you know, they had a lot of good things going for them. They exploited us in every way. So how we played in the second half is definitely how we should have started the game, but we didn't do that.
Defensively, especially in the first quarter, were there cross matches or difficulty communicating on defense to give them those looks? Yeah,
our defense was horrible. It was horrendous. And they did a really good job moving bodies. They didn't care who was in the action. It was bigs, it was smalls. And they did a really good job of just finding the next play. The ball didn't get stagnant for them. They hopped it around, they moved it, they drove it, they made threes, and collapsed our defense, you know. So that they pretty much exploited everything. Us guards, we got to be better at containing the ball. We put a lot of pressure on our bigs. Bigs obviously are kind of the quarterbacks, and they can see the whole play before it develops. But we got to accept challenges more as guards and keeping our man in front of us. And I think that'll eliminate some of our overhelp situations that lead to those kick-out threes and breakdowns on defense.
Brad, in those defensive breakdowns, is it more like, or I guess what's the balance between familiarity with Wes's concepts and being able to kind of predict where a defender needs to go, or you guys just kind of like opening your mouth and saying, like, literally, I need the help to come up and get higher?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. Obviously, we have a scheme, we have a plan, but everything is flying, you know. So Coach gives us free reign, you know, if we see something different or if we call something that wasn't in the scheme, just go with it, you know. Communication is everything. As long as we're talking it out, I think that eliminates a lot of the problems and hassles we may have and the slippage. But they did a really good job of just throwing us in a lot of different actions, and we just had to make the extra effort. And I think that wasn't there necessarily tonight. You know, they were doing a good job, especially Buddy. Buddy moves well without the ball. He slips, he screens, he moves, shot fakes, puts the ball on the floor. If he don't have it, he moves it, right? If that person doesn't have it, they move it, and it's just an ongoing thing until they find the right shot. So, and then not to mention they've been playing well. Like, they played Chicago competitively. Like, they got down early, but they came back late in the game. Like, this has been a testament of this team. They compete hard no matter who it is.
On that point, what's your kind of assessment through this group so far? You guys have had a lot of kind of young, hungry teams, and then obviously coming up, big test.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're in a good position. Obviously, we wish we could have won this game and did a lot of things better than what we did. And it's crazy. You look at our numbers, and it's like, damn, it's like, well, did we win the game? If you just look strictly at our numbers, 47, 40, 82, you would have thought we won. But you look at the other team, it's like, okay, yeah, we see why. And it's just simply our defense, and that's all controllable. Offense, we get a little stagnant. We got to be better at moving the ball, moving bodies. finding more actions, kind of similar to how they do, regardless of who's in it, and just keep it moving and hopping. Like, obviously, we don't have a problem sharing the ball. Everybody gets shots, but we have to be better on defense. We lost on defense tonight.